Hello and welcome back everyone to La-Mulana Randomizer, and in this episode, it is time for our first major boss.
Time to smack Amphisbeana.
Amphisbeana with an axe. Yes. Now, because we have the gauntlet and the axe, this is not really a good representation of how bosses for La-Mulana usually end up. Especially because we are like roughly 4.5 times more powerful than we're supposed to be for this fight.
So which weapon are you supposed to be using for this fight?
For this fight, you are supposed to be using specifically either your normal whip or shuriken.
Ooh, shuriken.
And the normal whip and shuriken do 1 damage apiece. The axe, I think, does... Is it 4? I think the axe does 4 damage per swing. And with the gauntlet, I get multiple swings per jump. Yay. So, yeah.
We did it. But the adventure continues.
It does. Alright. Killing Amphisbeana right now doesn't actually do us all that much good, but what it will do is later on it will open up the backside door to an area we have not yet been into, and that is important for travel purposes as well as one particular unlock.
Yes. Checkpoints are important. Gathering the Lord souls for the Lord vessel is important.
Thankfully, there are no Lord souls in this game. Although, I suppose you could equate the Guardians themselves to the Lord souls, since you do need to kill all 8 of them, at least for my runs, in order to unlock the true final boss.
Now, can you...
And here we have returned into Temple of the Sun.
Yay.
Oh, yes, we have. This is us returning. Okay, and there we got the waypoint. Because we do not have the Hermes boots yet, these sandfalls specifically are one-way doors for us. Although we did just get the feather. Woot!
So does that mean that we can jump them now?
Nope.
Dang it! Down with you.
Alright, do we have a shuriken yet? I don't. We have bombs. I don't think we have ring yet, though.
We have double jump.
We do have double jump, and double jump is nice. Hi, Mulbrook.
Bye. Sonic the Hedgehog? No.
Yeah, don't bother fighting Sonic the Hedgehog for the most part.
He's an evil quilled hedgehog.
And wow.
And he can climb walls.
Yes. Alright, we're checking this shop. What do we have in this shop today? We have weights, the actual Earth Spear, and Caltrop ammo. Nice.
Many thanks.
We will need to purchase the Earth Spear eventually.
Wasn't actually a shopkeeper, it was the soul of a shopkeeper.
No, it's actually a shopkeeper. There are multiple skeleton shopkeepers in the ruins.
Shopkeeper, a few words. I remember you. You're the guy who doesn't say all that much. Oh, that's where I am.
Alright, so what we're doing right now is we're trying to solve the other top half of Temple of the Sun, which requires us, because we don't have the Hermes boots, to go the long way around. The reason why we're doing this is so that we can set up both this particular puzzle here that we've already partially solved, and so that we can start setting up for Elmac, which is the boss of this area.
Elmac. Spanish for the Mac.
Except this is the Egyptian area. So what would the Egyptian translation for Elmac be?
That was a very good question. I mean, I like to think that the etymology for a lot of words in a lot of languages all arrive from similar instances. The letter M is a big example of that, because many cultures use the letter M in association with words that have to do with life or feeding the young, like breastfeeding, suckling, that type of stuff. Because that is the sound, that is the phonetic sound of a baby drawing breast milk from a tit.
Welcome to Inferno Cavern. Inferno Cavern is my second least favorite of the normal areas in the game because of all the lava that's around here.
Yay. Perfume.
Now, the perfume is actually a very important upgrade for us, just not right now. It will allow us to one-shot skeletons like these.
They can't stand the smell.
I'm not entirely sure why it's a perfume that is the anathema. I can't remember how to pronounce that word. That is a trapped chest. You can tell it is a trapped chest because it does not have the glowy lights on it.
Nah.
And welcome to the Twin Labyrinths. We will be back in this area later, but right now we're doing a couple of interesting checks that we have access to right away.
Harpies.
Specifically in this room. In this room, there is a treasure chest up right here. By swinging the axe at it, we can open up this wall, and let's see. Text tracks. What text tracks will allow you to do is allow you to record conversations and shop inventories on a text document on your laptop.
Nah.
It is actually a very, very good steroid for later on in the game when you actually need to know these things.
So weird to have a computer inside a computer-driven game, which I suppose is every game, kind of like the PokéNav or the news or the mobile device from Paper Mario 2. You got a newsletter, yay!
Make sure to switch off your bombs when you're not actually using them, because bombs are extremely dangerous to have out normally, because they actually do a decent amount of damage to Lameza, and they also have a large amount of knockback on them, so they can throw you into pits quite easily.
Right, and these are problems you would not anticipate because you're getting the items in a strange order.
Right. And in this shop, we have the Eye of Truth and Chakram Ammo.
I'm selling the good stuff.
The Eye of Truth is for two particular, well, technically 1.5 puzzles that we do not currently have access to, but we will have access to eventually.
Only the stone umbrella can protect you from the storm of spikes.
Thankfully, this game specifically doesn't really have a storm of spikes that we have to deal with. La-Mulana 2 does, technically, I mean, if you want to count Daji, but I'm not entirely sure if people actually count Daji as a storm of spikes, simply because he's just got a lot of swords. You may be wondering why I'm destroying a majority of the pots that we see. It's because we're, like, constantly somewhat broke, and I am in desperate need of cash for a good portion of the playthrough, specifically in order to have a decent amount of weights on me at all times.
Only buyers with an adequate return on investment will yield profitability.
Or something like that.
These are the truths unveiled by the Eye of Truth.
Thankfully, no. The Eye of Truth is actually has got physical applications rather than philosophical ones.
There's only one way through this room. It's to the left. Spike ball.
Alright, so, it doesn't actually matter if I'm confident enough. Without the birth seal, I can't actually open that yet, but, go down like this, and we did not make it all the way down the pit.
Oh, well. Didn't you want to see why they were blocking the magical electro barrier tombstone?
No, because that particular one tells us that in order to make progress, we actually have to successfully navigate the Pillar of Fire puzzle. But, you know, that's all it says.
Well, game, I already knew that there was something that I had to do. I just had to.
I wish we had the glove for this puzzle, simply because it would. Simply because having the glove for this puzzle in particular, pretty much cuts the amount of time it takes to solve this puzzle into about a third.
Okay, and now push that one all the way to the right. Or to the left. Oh, right, because you can't push it once it falls down there. Right, and now you go down and around, and then you get to finish pushing the block into place. Well, I mean, okay, so I found that counterintuitive because I was pretty darn sure that that evil block was supposed to go on the switch that was right next to it.
No, I'm glad that you're trying to solve these somewhat blind, because that's one issue that I actually have, is that I've played the game a bit too much, so I happen to know what a majority of the puzzle solutions are.
Well, now that I know that last block in the top right corner of the screen is not just an ornament piece, it is actually a physical object that's going to get pushed into the foreground once we push this button right here. There it comes down. Okay, now we can finish the puzzle because all of the buttons will be depressed.
Yes. And what do we get for our efforts?
A door!
Ooh, the ring! Booyah!
Obtained
Now we
ring.
can go solve the aim and shoot puzzle. Woohoo!
Yay.
What the ring does in this game is it actually increases the effectiveness of your sub-weapons. So shurikens fly twice as fast, chakram fly twice as fast, bombs get a significantly larger blast radius. You throw an additional caltrop when you use caltrops, and I think rolling shuriken have a longer lifespan. Damn it, we need 6 more coins in order to get the hand scanner, and we need the hand scanner for literacy checks. We already have Glyph Reader, but we don't have hand scanner yet. So.
Well, you know, we wouldn't need a hand scanner if only we could suspend some scruples, like, how about you just do what Elizabeth did in BioShock Infinite? Don't try to get a copy of the fingerprints, just bring the fucking hand over. I think it was a James Bond movie that did a similar thing, where instead of, you know, dragging the corpse all the way to the security checkpoint door, that James Bond will use his fancy Q gadget in order to copy the fingerprints and then reapply that copy to the door in order to pass the security check.
Now, is that a gadget that he got from Q?
He gets all of his gadgets from Q.
Yeah, but I never remember which movies Q is in and which ones he is not. Because there are movies that Q is not actually in.
Okay, well, Q was in every James Bond movie before Die Another Day. Die Another Day was the first movie that Q was not in because Desmond Llewellyn had passed away by that time.
Ah. Yes, lava does significantly more damage than poison water.
Do try to return this equipment in pristine order. Don't touch that! That's my lunch.
I'm not actually all that big a fan of James Bond, honestly.
GoldenEye was my favorite of the Pierce Brosnan movies. Now, if there was a classic that I would like to see again, it would probably have to be Goldfinger.
Yeah, but Goldfinger is the one that gets all the praise, and honestly, it's not as interesting as people keep trying to convince me that it is.
It unfortunately employs Asian stereotypes. Odd Job is definitely is a product of the time when he originated in as a character. He is very clearly an Asian stereotype.
All right, now that we have the hand scanner and the glyph reader, we officially know how to read. Woot!
We can read.
We can.
Well, so we got a cipher.
Yes. Our glyph reader is effectively our first instance of the Rosetta Stone. It is not our final instance of the Rosetta Stone, as far as I can remember. But in the next part, we will continue on with completing the Inferno Cavern.